In this video, I'm going to share with you how to stand out in a crowd. Have you ever wondered what are the qualities to become more attractive? I don't mean attractive as in people want an intimate relationship with you, although this could work for that too. I'm talking about how people define leaders immediately without even knowing who they are right upon first meeting them. Do you know people like that, where someone may just walk in the room and if someone finds out who they are, people just love them almost immediately? Now, some people are born with that skill set, but for the majority of people, it's actually a learned skill set. You have to put effort into making it happen. It's about investing in yourself. You have to invest in your mindset. So let's get right to the tips on how to stand out in a crowd. Number one, you need to be confident. I want you to think about something. It's pretty amazing when you walk down the street how many people actually don't have confidence, where you might walk, slumped shoulders, looking down, possibly at your cell phone. You're maybe having a conversation in person and you're just looking at the phone all at the time because you don't want to have that conversation. You know what I mean? But what if you change that? Maybe you walk around with a straighter back. Maybe when you speak, you enunciate your words. Every time you create movement, you have to have vision and you have to have purpose. Anytime that there's an obstacle, you are the problem solver. You're the person that comes up with the solution every time. You might be the person that gives gratitude a lot. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you. Number two, you have to put effort. Let's use the example of applying for a job. Now, I remember just being as a manager, putting out maybe a job application where I would receive resumes. Well, what would happen is let's say for administrator assistant, I would receive hundreds of resumes, but either zero or maybe just one cover letter. But if you were looking to stand out in a crowd, how would you do things differently? While someone might take weeks and weeks and weeks to create a resume, I want you to think about something. So if you procrastinate, doesn't it take like 5, 10, 15, 30, maybe 2 hours at the most if you're really stuck just to write your resume? And then if you free-flowed a cover letter for a specific company, how long does that take? Maybe 20, 30 minutes if you're going slow? When you get in the habit of getting more things done in less time, you will move a lot faster. So let's say you're applying for a job on Indeed.com. There are many listings that you might find of interest to you. So what if you did a custom resume and custom cover letter for every single listing, personally tailored to the person who might be reading your resume and cover letter, and then also saving, not just in Word, but then convert it into PDF to make it seem like you spent a lot of time for this one specific company. And when I mean customize, let's say the cover letter, for instance, you let them know how you found the job listing, you let them know what your goals and intentions are, you let them know, based on what their job description is, how you can provide value directly to them and why you're qualified for the position specifically for that company and only that company. And then also your resume being customized with the matching positions that are tailored with the specific word, the specific titling that fits the description of maybe the qualifications for that company. And almost no one does that. I want you to think about it. If you just spent like maybe a day just creating a custom resume and custom cover letter for all of the job listings that you were thinking of applying for, assuming that you're not exactly an entrepreneur or maybe you're creating multiple streams of income doing multiple things at once, do you see how easy it would be for you to get the call versus the person that puts out like hundreds of resumes and they don't receive a single call and they wonder why this process doesn't work? It's very easy to stand out in a crowd. And what about online? Let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to get traffic to your website. Well, what do most people do? Most people will spam their links and messages or maybe post on their Facebook wall or do an Instagram post with their link and expect you to click the link and join their business without you ever talking to them and without providing any value or building any relationships with you. So if you're someone that actually puts in effort, what happens if you had just real private conversations and used maybe a format called FORM, the family, occupation, recreation, motivation, and actually found out who someone was, what their background is, what their likes, what their interests are, what motivates them, what do they do for a living, and when you can find this out about someone and actually hear them out, then when they tell you these things, they're going to feel more obligated to listen to you. And so I want you to think, like even on Facebook, you could have hundreds of Facebook chats all going at the same time. It all comes down to effort. Can you put more effort into everything that you do. Number 3, find out how to get people talking about you socially because you provided value to them. Let's take sales, for instance. Have you ever seen one of those presentations where maybe they're telling you what the product is, maybe they're telling the company story, but then it gets to a point in the presentation where it's everything about testimonials, and you are someone that's like, well, it's cool that they can do it, but will this work for me? Do you ever wonder why that works? Having testimonials like that is one of the easiest ways to stand out in a crowd. Because we are social creatures at the bottom of our hearts and at our core kind of just human being nature. And one of the elements is we want to feel connected on an emotional level. And when someone is elevating and edifying someone else, then that turns your attention to that person as more importance. What if that can be done for you? How can you get more references? How can you get people hanging around you? How can you get kind of a group that sticks around you and almost looks at you as the leader? How can you be the person of importance? How can you be the person that's giving value to others? How can you be the person that is taking your edification that people are giving to you and transferring the trust to other people as well to become a connector? If you introduce person A to person C, who do they have left to talk about? Person B. As in Brian. All jokes aside, I just really want you to start thinking about just some abstract level ideas of how you can start standing out in a crowd, how simple it actually is, because when you look at other people and the way that they do things, the way that they show up in life, most of the time, the bar for life is actually set very, very, very low. I don't know if you've noticed that. And when you decide to even put some type of effort, when you decide to step into your confidence and step into your power, when you decide to serve other people and get other people talking about you in a positive way and lifting you up and edifying you, that, my friends, are just a few of the simple ways to begin standing out in a crowd. If you receive value from this video on how to stand out in a crowd, go ahead and click the link in the description. Head over to attractivesponsor.com. I'd love to share with you the system that I use to monetize my efforts of making YouTube videos online. And if you have a business, you'll discover how to get more leads, traffic, and sales. And if you don't have a business, you'll get a chance to see exactly what I do.